This is the podcast, not an interview. This is a conversation. No gimmicks, just reasons. 84 reasons. Come holler at me. What up, everybody? I am being true. This is 84 reasons. No games, no gimmicks, just reasons. Every week, I'm either sitting down with a current. But this week, man, I get to take it back, man. This back to my time, our time. I remember when this boy got on campus, I was like, listen, the world knows him as Ciatrick Fason. I know him as C4. These people know him as C4, Neptune Beach, Jacksonville Beach, whatever the boys out there in Jacksonville want to call it. Fletcher High School greatness now. Head coach of Fletcher High School. But hold on, first team All-SEC. 2005 fourth round draft pick, played for Minnesota, Jacksonville, also played for the Edmonton Eskimos. 7,400 rushing yards in high school, 5-star recruit by rivals, listed as the top running back prospect coming out of 2002 high school All-American. But more importantly, I want y'all to go back to 2003 Arkansas, the first play from scrimmage, coming out the locker room, 75 yards to the crib, the great Ciatrick Fason. What's up today, C4?
What's up, True?
So C4, man, I gotta ask. I talked to Cornelius Ingram. I know we talked a little bit about before we came on. You coaching at the high school that made you who you are. What is it like coming back home, man, being able to throw your hat in the ring and try to coach these young boys?
It feels good, definitely. Coaching wasn't never in my future, but it wasn't never in my plans. But when I got to the pros and got a chance to see what was going on in the city and back in the hometown, I realized I need to give a lending hand and change kids' lives because it's different for this generation. So it definitely feels good being back at home and feel better being back in my old high school.
C4, you was doing a lot of stuff with the youth though. Before you became a head coach, you were still doing your showcases. I know you was doing a lot in the city. The city of Jacksonville, for those of y'all who don't know, I know high school football in the state of Florida is crazy. But y'all got y'all own little thing. Neptune Beach, Jacksonville Beach. Talk about just the culture of football in that city like that.
Oh, it's real different. And in Jacksonville, man, only a few get respected around here. You got your Range, you got your Reeboks, you got your Trinities, you got your Bowls, and then you got Fletcher. We're called the resort of Jacksonville. So you got to cross the bridge to get here. They treat it different, and it's a place everybody want to be. So when you one of the few schools to get respected, man, it means a lot, and it just means you got to put that much more in as a coach and as an individual to try to get the respect around here.
That Jacksonville lineage, man, is something I grew to know real quick in Florida. You, Fletcher, Lito, Jabbar, Bam, y'all, Gus, OJ. You were the number one running back prospect in the country coming out. Was it always Florida for you, C4? I know everybody in the world wanted you. But did you look at it and say, well, listen, man, number one, for those of you who don't know about these Florida boys, they love where they from. They love that. They love that more than football, which I love. But was it always Florida for you, or did you take the full recruiting experience before you decided to pick Florida?
When I was younger, coming out of middle school, it was, to be honest, it was Florida State. I grew up on Florida State. And then once I stepped into that swamp as a freshman and saw the atmosphere and saw the culture, because, leaving Jacksonville and going to the swamp, and that was pretty much my first time leaving the city. And once I saw it, I was like, man, ain't nothing like Gainesville. I went to Florida State, went to a Florida State game, went to a Clemson game because I had older cousins that played there. But, man, it wasn't nothing like the swamp atmosphere. And it's crazy that I knew everybody that played from Florida from probably 1990 on. So, once I went to a Florida game, it became always Florida for me.
Talking with Ciatrick Fason, C4, to the people that don't know him, head coach of Fletcher, where he became who he became, 7,400 yards in high school, rushed for 2,000 yards in 2 different seasons. C4, when I played with you, man, you had a very, very smooth running style. Like I said, C4, I said C4 like a slender, bigger dude. He not big, but he ain't small either. But you never took big hits. Like, what did you credit your running style to? I never seen nobody get a big hit on you. Obviously, you can catch the ball out the backfield. What did you pattern your running style behind?
I always try to watch the taller backs. I knew I was going to be, anytime you over 5'11", you considered a taller back. So as growing up, I was 5'11" in the 7th grade. So I knew I had to watch the taller back. So I watched like Chris Warren and try to watch the Tony Dorsett's, the Eric Dickersons, and people like that, and try to mold my game after those taller backs. And my running style, it's crazy that I watched a lot of Gale Sayers. I used to get the throwback film of Gale Sayers, and I liked his style, and that's what I tried to have my running style like, was more of a Gale Sayers, and then have a high knee lift like a Roger Craig and a Ricky Waters.
Yeah, I was gonna say you was a glider. Like when you took up a lot of ground. You covered a lot of turf with just a couple of steps. I used to talk to Gus and Keywan and them boys and ask them like, what is it like going up against C4? Because obviously we get to see each other during tour days. They say, I don't like C4. They say, because he got this thing the way he know how to turn his body. They always say get skinny when you get through the hole. They say, well, he ain't big anyway. He just tall, hit the hole and he gone. But you have a running style that translates to any offense because, you have one offense when you get to Florida. I don't know if it remained the same. What was the biggest adjustment for you? Because running backs, y'all has to do a lot. Got to pick up the blitz, got to run between the tackles, got to catch out the backfield, got to pick up first downs. What was it about your style of play that you said, I can translate to any offense?
Well, I figure, if once I could adjust to the speed of the game that was in the SEC, which is usually the hard part. I knew my body type, and I knew how to adjust my body to not take the big hits and how to get through holes. So once I adjusted to the speed, I knew everything else was going to be all right, especially playing at UF and knowing the type of linemen we recruit. So the host was going to be there. It was just a matter of not taking the big hits.
C4, we are in the time of NIL. You are a head coach at Fletcher. I be following you on Twitter. I love the fact that I said, listen, C4 will give it to you straight. I like how you tell people, listen, man, if you want to go to Florida and it's all about the money, don't even go, man, because it's a tradition there that I get it, you want to make your money, but what have you run into when it comes being in the high school football circuit, big time athletes that want to go to these schools? What has been the good and the bad about NIL?
The bad is the kids not really going to schools that they passionate about, and that's the bad to me. Like, you going to a school just because you chasing dollars, and the good thing is, they trying to pay you. And I tell, like, I got a big time junior quarterback. He committed to South Florida before our season was started. He got another year left, and I tell him all the time, man, if you good, the money gonna come. I mean, be passionate about the school that you go to, but when you step on campus and you doing your thing, the NIL gonna come. So, man, fall in love with the school. Don't just fall in love for that money, because then you ain't got no loyalty. When stuff ain't going right, you want to leave right away because you ain't get $1,000 that they promised you. But if you passionate about that program, you be like, okay, I can get this money, but let me just keep doing my thing. It's gonna come back around to me, because I don't want to leave anyway, because this is my school. So that's the thing about it. I tell kids all the time, man, I'm passionate about UF, and I bled that orange and blue. And my whole thing was, let's go out here and play. And we wasn't getting no NILs, and they get an opportunity. So if you get out there and do your thing, man, it's gonna come. But be passionate about your school, because if you're not, man, them friendships that you get within being around a team for 3 to 5 years, they ain't gonna be there because you jumping ship to ship, and then you ain't gaining no trust and gaining no real friends.
C4, speaking of passion, we a couple of years removed, you, Keywan, Jacksonville getting honored, Florida Georgia Game Hall of Fame. I think D. Webb was there taking pictures with y'all. Man, you from the city, man. You grew up watching Florida Georgia. What was it like when you got the call and they said, is this Ciatrick? Yeah. Congratulations, you've been voted into, 26, 27, 2018, whatever it was, Florida Georgia Hall of Fame. What was that feeling like for you? Because like you said, look, man, you left it all out there every game you played. But what was that feeling for C4 knowing, hey, man, they got your boy in the history books forever?
Oh, it was different. You know, I got a call from Speeds and he asked me what I was doing, but I ain't put two and two together. Asked me what I was doing that weekend. And I was like, man, I'm taking a vacation. That's a bye week for me in high school. But then, you know, I ended up getting a call like a month later and they telling me, you know, I was voting in Florida, Georgia. That meant a lot, you know, because like you said, I'm from Jacksonville. And, you know, when you playing that Florida, Georgia game, you want to put on for your city and I wanted to always put on for the city and being able to go into the Florida Georgia Hall of Fame, knowing I'm from here, that was one of the greatest accomplishments of my life. Even though that wasn't always a goal of mine, my goal was always to, you know, be a Gator great, but at the end of the day, make it to the NFL and just being blessed with going in the Florida Georgia Hall of Fame made it that much sweeter and it lets you know that you did something in that game.
Facts. And you go from that to, all right, Fletcher called you. I don't know if it was the principal, the superintendent. Is it C-Folk? Yes, it's Ciatrick. Listen, we want you to be the next head coach of Fletcher. Now, I know nothing about what that's like, meaning everybody knows whatever high school you went to, you so indebted to that coach because that coach saw something you didn't see in yourself, pull something out of you didn't know you had. But most of us don't get the call to come back and coach. What was that conversation like, C4? They called you saying, listen, man, let me think. Did you have to think about it or was it an automatic yes?
Well, I was here for 6 years as an OC coaching waiting, and then the year before I got jumped, so I left and went to First Coast. And then that following summer, you know, something went down at the school, and they ended up calling me back and was like, "Look, we should have always hired you, man. You the guy." So my first day here was a couple days before the season started. It was a whole bunch of new faces. I didn't know these kids. They came from private schools and stuff like that. So when I came in, I pretty much only I had my first 3 games was evaluation process. So we started off on 3. I figured things out, figured the players out, and then we went on a 6-game winning streak. But it felt real good, man, just to be back at home and knew I was trying to get this team from always making it to the playoffs to now trying to get them to compete for a state championship year in a year out.
How competitive is high school football in Florida? Obviously, I know what it is. You know what it is, but it's different when you get to control the game, C4, when you out there. Now, I just call plays. Man, how competitive is Florida high school football?
Man, it's competitive, man. I'm one of them fiery coaches. You see me on the sideline, you be like, man, I don't know how they ain't kicked this coach out the game already. He going in, and I tell my kids, man, I'm one of them. Hey, I coach like I played. I'm chest bumping my players. Uh, I'm telling the competitive part come when you got to tell the referees the rules. That'd be the craziest part because the referees act like they don't know the rules. So, but you know it's very competitive. You know, in Florida and Jacksonville, man, you can't be no loser. If you're a loser here, you in trouble. Social media attack you like you in college. So, you know, I always tell my players, look, we're gonna prepare like we already playing for the playoffs from week 1 to the end of the season, and the guys buy into it, and you know my accolades help that, but I hate losing, period. So you know I'm very competitive, and I tell the players if you ain't on my level, you can't play for me. You might want to go to a different school.
Talking with Ciatrick Fason, first team out in SEC in 2004, 7,400 rushing yards in high school, number 1 recruit, number 1 running back coming out back in 2002. But more important, now the head coach of Fletcher. Now C4 that you see what you're doing now as far as like coaching. Most of the time, like you mentioned, when people get into coaching, they never saw themselves being no coach. Like, man, I never saw myself being no coach. What made you get that coaching bug? Because you say you was there 6 years as an OC. What made you want to say, all right, man, let me lend my time and ability and resources to these players?
Honestly, when I started my own youth athletic association, I was coaching and then coming to the high school games, and I actually seen a lot of talent. A lot of players that I done seen around that had a lot of talent wasn't playing. And you know, I was like, man, these coaches sometimes have their own agendas or they ain't playing the best players and kids losing out. And then you had teams around here going undefeated, but nobody going to college. And I'm like, man, a lot missing. Kids sitting the bench or the good players who playing, teams going undefeated, players ain't getting to college, they ain't getting no help. So I was like, man, let me jump in. And ever since I jumped in, man, it's been like riding, kids getting opportunities. I've been around this high school game for almost 7 years now. I helped over 200 kids get to college. On my team this year, we had 13 seniors, and I got 11 boys committed, and only 6 seniors started. So, players around here getting opportunities, and that's really why I jumped in it, because I want to see these kids prosper and get an education. But why not have fun playing a sport that you love while getting an education?
Single parent homes, not coming from the best home lives. A lot of these young boys, they got experience, they got talent, but they use the man in the house. They use the oldest one. What is the biggest hurdle you've had? You talk about, man, 13 seniors, 11 of them get scholarship offers, only 6 started. What has been 200 kids you help get in school? What has been your biggest hurdle year in and year out, trying to make sure you get the parents to help you understand, look, y'all got to help me help your son get to school?
The biggest hurdle is preaching education, man. Some of these parents think, just because you playing high school ball, that you got the grades to get into college, and a 2.0 on the dot just because you eligible for high school ain't always the thing. Sometimes you got to go to Division II, and we all know Division II, these NAIAs, Division III, it's all based off that core GPA or that overall GPA. So, the parents be like, well, I ain't trying to push them there, but, that's been the biggest hurdle. But since the kids been seeing what's been going on since I got back, they done bought into the process. Majority, I say 98% of my team got AB honor roll. So I done changed a lot just for my presence, and then just speaking true facts to them and being 100% honest.
See, folks, when it comes to coaching, like you mentioned, most people ain't you though. Most people ain't no All-American high school, went to the University of Florida Georgia Game Hall of Famer, got drafted to the National Football League. They don't got the stripes you got. The players gonna listen to you, but you a coach. I mean, you got to go to coaching conventions. You got to be around. What is being around other coaches, not on your staff? Like, do they respect the fact that, look, man, I know what I'm talking about as a coach, or they kind of standoffish because they don't got your resume?
No, the coaches for the most part, man, they show a lot of love, man. Me, even the worst team in Jacksonville, I reach out to them and I try to help coaches change their program. Like, I give them, if they ask me for a workout program, I say, look, I got University of Florida workout program. I'm gonna email it to you. I'm gonna tell you how to run it. I'm gonna tell you what to do. I'm gonna tell you how to talk to your parents and your team meeting. And I tell them, man, I'm for the city. So, you call me and tell me you want me to talk to your parents because you don't know how to come off to them. I'll come talk to your team. It don't matter that I coach at Fletcher, because at the end of the day, man, I'm in this for us. People think I'm not in this for me. I tell people I don't reach my goals. And these coaches really like show love in the city and always want advice from it, and then when I don't know nothing, know everything, I can reach out to some of these coaches that done won on a high level and be like, man, what it took for you to win state? What did you preach to your kids to start that state championship run? And, it's all love, man, because people see that, it's a lot of stuck up in the former NFL players and stuff like that, but they see I'm me and I'm me all the time. So, it's definitely a blessing with how they treat me.
It's funny that you say you all the time. I talked to Cornelius Ingram. He was on a couple of episodes ago. He said the exact same thing. He said, man, my thing is I'm me all the time, because that's something that I do think the University of Florida NFL shows you, man, if you're going to do this for them, you better be you in the process, because they don't care nothing about us being us. They just want us to show up, do what we need to do. But you being you and going to these coaches, you mentioned I would go speak at another coaching school to their team, to their parents, show them how to do the workout plan, because you let them know, man, I'm doing this for us, man. I've done it. So when you looking at me, you looking at a guy that I didn't even know it was a Florida Georgia Game Hall of Fame until I was blessed enough to be in it. You in it, and you from the city, and you saying, look, if I got 13 seniors, yes, I got 11 of them in. I'm trying to get all 13, and I'm trying to help you, because the more people coming out of the city of Jacksonville, Neptune Beach, Orange Park, whatever you want to call it, Clayton County, it's good for everybody. Do you think you've helped these coaches realize that, look, yeah, we all competing for that state championship, but when it's National Signing Day and your seniors ain't signing, I think you might have did them players a misservice.
That definitely, and that's the great thing about it is that they see what I'm doing. That sometimes they reach out to me and say, "Hey, can you help my boys?" Cause man, you got it. You got all type of connections. How you get these connections? They don't know, like you say. I be on Twitter 24/7. I spend more time on Twitter than I do anything else because it's always coaches looking for players. Like I got 3 boys committed to University of Fort Lauderdale. I didn't even know it was the University of Fort Lauderdale until 3 months ago. I got on, talked to a coach that I knew, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm the head coach now." Man, all right, let's make it work. And I build relationships, man, and I'm straight up with them. I try to give them that football eye, tell them what I see. But the kids, man, and these coaches really, when I say they really appreciate what I do for the city, it go a long way, and that kind of keep me going because not only am I making my own boys happy at my school, but I'm helping these other kids' dreams.
The voice you hear listen to right now is that of Ciatrick Fason. C4 to me. Got a chance to play with C4 back in our Florida days. Florida, Georgia, Hall of Fame, University of Florida, great. But now doing it for them kids. C4, what is that feeling like, though? You got a kid come in as a freshman, knucklehead, but you know he can play. So you use football to build that relationship, right? And then 3 years later, he's going to school X, and you look at him like, boy, that was the plan the whole time. Because if you from the city, you need to get out because it's all you know, right? It's different if you come in the Ed Waters, but you from Gainesville or you from, Orlando. What is that feeling like watching them, telling them parents, trust me with your baby? I know I've been in this situation before that somebody had to trust me with this coach. What is that feeling like when they sign a national letter of intent and you look at them like, I told you, man, the proof is in the pudding, man. You trust me, I get you there.
It feels good. I go by this thing. I tell the kids, man, just listen to me. Listen to me. I'm gonna give you the blueprint. I'm gonna tell you how to make it and how to get out. I'm gonna tell you how to carry yourself. Like kids come up to me now and say, "Coach, I'm trying to go D1." I say, "You ain't D1 because I can tell how you dress. I can tell how you carrying yourself being a fool." I say, when you see a D1 athlete, you can tell a D1 athlete. He ain't talking. He ain't got to call himself a D1 athlete. He gonna let other people do it for him. You tell me you D2, I'm gonna tell you the truth. It's a way you carry yourself, and I try to teach these kids how to carry themselves, how to talk, how to act, and don't be a butthole in the classroom. Don't nobody want a butthole, and I can't help buttholes. So man, it feels good when these kids signing on National Signing Day because they don't listen and allow me to get on the blueprint.
C4, have you had a chance to get back on campus? We got the all football facility now, them boys, and they got a pool, they got a hot tub, they got chefs, they got the weight room. They don't got to walk upstairs C4 across the street no more. They just come out. Could C4 have utilized them extra 15 minutes to not have to walk upstairs, to go across the road and say, listen, man, I put on my stuff and I just walk out to the field.
Hey, man, that would have made me practice 10. I'd have had more energy in practice. Hey, I went there a few times, man. Billy Nate showed that love for real. Coach Luke actually let me talk to the running backs, and man, it's definitely a blessing to see. Hey, not just to see what we done helped build, but even the people before us. Like, man, it's definitely a blessing to see what they got going on. And man, when I came out, they were trying to hand me food too. I said, man, y'all get people handing y'all food when y'all walk out the building. Man, this is what it is right here, man. So I love it, man. And hey, man, it was much needed, especially for everything that our school accomplished. Like straight up.
You said Billy Napier, man, show love. I mean, I know that when it comes to new coaches at Florida, as former players, we want to know one thing. Is what you saying about showing love to former players real, or is it just something you say, but you say it's real? What are your impressions of Billy Napier? Because obviously it takes a while to build a pro. Every head coach that's winning national championships has been there for a while, whether that's Kirby, whether that's Nick, whether that's Dabo or whomever. What are your impressions of Billy Napier?
I like him a lot. I mean, he's trying to build his own culture. He weeding some people a lot, but he's trying to make it his, and that's a good thing. And then, like I say, man, he reach out, man. I get more calls from UF since he took over than I got from all the coaching changes we had since we left combined. So, just the way he been treating us, man, we was right there walking on the field doing the coaching clinic, people telling us, you can't be on the field. Billy looking over there, nah, they Gators, man, they good. Like, nah, yeah, leave them alone. Like, and me, Lewis, Murphy, C.I., all us just walking around the field, man, Jaquez, man, and the love they were showing, man, just was a blessing. And every time something come on, we get the invite. So I definitely say, man, I like what he got going on, and I'm looking forward to next year. And I ain't used to be a fan of the portal, but I like the linemen he getting up out the portal now.
Listen, if Osiris Torrance got a little brother, he can definitely come on through. I know we just got the big offensive tackle guard, whoever he is from Alabama. Hey, I like them. I like the portals too. But I want to touch on something. You say you got resources, not just with other coaches, but coaches that coach you. Coach Mike Locks was the running backs coach when you was there. Now he the head coach at Maryland. What is it like seeing your former coaches getting head coaching jobs, saying, hey, man, ain't nothing but a phone call away. Now you might have a kid going from Neptune Beach to Maryland.
Oh, that go a long way. Me and Locks talk all the time. He asked about my quarterback, asked about my receiver, or he just asked about kids in the city. So I get a chance to talk to him. Even Coach Fedora still called Coach Fedora when he was coaching in USFL. He was asking about boys that came through my high school that was potentially going to be drafted into the USFL. So, that goes a long ways from even Coach Zook come through here. I asked, before he retired after being with Locks, man, I was asking financial stuff. Like, for real, like the coaches, man, always show love, and it go a long way, man, because, man, that staff was a great staff, and they was about us. I even seen Coach Ed, man, it's crazy. Coach Ed, grandson or something played at Ponte Vedra High School, and we played them 2 years ago, and Coach Ed he walked all the way around the field, man, was like, Coach, he is C4, you remember me? Yeah, Coach Ed. So, go a long way, man. Like, so definitely it was a blessing for them to be head coaches and OCs or DCs, and even with the players that we play with, that's DCs and OCs and stuff. It's definitely going a long ways, and it's making me more connected. The more that we get jobs, the more connected we get to help kids.
C4, man, you sound like you having a lot of fun. The one thing about when you a current player, they don't tell us is it's almost like they're scared to say that when football ends, you could have just as much fun not playing as you are playing. Man, I'm listening to you, looking at you, man. You seem to be having a ball, man. I'm 200 football players you done help get scholarships. You only been the head coach for a couple of years, man.
Oh, even when I was just the OC, I was helping, man. I think that's the fun part, man. I tell people, they say, man, you help me get recruited. Yeah, that's the fun part. Like the coaching, I think coaching harder than getting scholarships. I tell them straight up, I was like, because you don't know this generation, you got to pump them up to play hard. You got to pump them up to be energetic, pump them up to lift weights. I said, that's the hard part. But finding scholarships, man, I pick that phone up, tell the coach the truth about you. I'm going to tell you the pros and the cons. So I enjoy it, man. I enjoy the kids, especially when I had an episode where I had a full body cramp early in the year, and all my kids thought I had a heart attack, but I had a full body cramp. So they thought it was the first game of the year, and that was after the game. And, I went to the hospital. My wife had my phone. Man, I had probably 3,000 text messages, not just from my players, but kids around the city. We love you, coach. Hope you get better. I want to come up to the hospital. So, with that, man, when the kids go hard for me, I go hard for them.
When you see what coaching is becoming now, I see you at Fletcher. You got Cornelius, Ingram at Hawthorne. You see Ed Reed just got the Bethune. You got, you just had Deion Sanders Jackson State. You got Eddie George at TSU. And do you think players who love the game like you do you think we just better at coaching the kids because we can talk to them? Like most coaches, you know how it is, C4. If I respect you as a coach, I might listen to you. But I'm like, well, bro, you ain't even do what I did. Do you think because former players are becoming head coaches, y'all just have more influence on the overall betterment of these players?
I think so, because at the end of the day, these kids want to get to where we been. Uh, you could kids grow up and say, they like the attention, but at the end of the day, they all want to make it to the NFL. So they hire these coaches who don't play the big time colleges or made it to the NFL. And the kid mind, he like, man, I'm finna listen, I'm finna play hard because he might get me to where I want to be. But if you got a coach out there, some of these coaches, they just want you to win games, gonna talk to you any type of way. These kids are like, oh man, I ain't going out here and playing for that dude, man. He ain't never been nowhere. How you gonna get me to go here and he ain't even been there? So it definitely go hand in hand with using your name. That's what people say. You can use your name to your advantage. And I started to use my name to help kids. And Dion using his name, he helping kids too. Any building programs, Ed Reed doing the same thing. CI. Nobody think little Hawthorne's gonna do. They always have ball players, but who say Hawthorne gonna win state? But now they got CI. It's a whole different vibe around there in Gainesville. Even with Jamel Cornelius around there coaching in Fort Meade, it's a whole different vibe the former players bring to their programs, especially when kids want to be in that position that they was in, whether it was college or the pros.
And C4, finally, man, what's next for you? I know you the head coach of Fletcher. I'm not saying you're gonna move on. What's next for Ciatrick Fason when, hey man, I'm getting them in school? Is it winning the state championship? Because I heard you talking about, man, the boys winning. What is it gonna feel like for Fletcher? Y'all boys is over the causeway, got to go over that bridge. What is it gonna feel like to hoist up a state championship in the state of Florida for Fletcher High?
That's my goal, man. I tell people, man, we always got to the playoffs. That was easy. I tell people all the time, I've been coaching, I'm been a head coach 2 years. I got 2 district championships. I was like, I'm gonna win district because I know I don't think nobody around here gonna out coach me. So I'm like, I need Fletcher to be a powerhouse. They always talk about the private schools because they get to recruit. That's the reason they the powerhouse. I was like, Lakeland don't get to recruit. They public school. They're a powerhouse. So why can't I do it around here, especially with my name and my face and with what I know? So my goals is, man, to win state and win many as I can before I decide to walk away from the game. I done been offered some college jobs. I ain't going to college because I enjoy taking these vacations, man. I'm living right now, man. So, I'm a live and I'm a coach these high school boys till I get tired.
Ciatrick Fason, 2005, first team All SEC running back, 4th round draft pick. I'm sorry, 2004, first team All SEC. 2005, 4th round draft pick for the Minnesota Vikings. Also played for the Jacksonville Jaguars and Edmonton Eskimos. Now, putting boys in college, right out there in Fletcher, Neptune Beach. But want that state championship. Like, look, I done add everything else to the resume. Florida Georgia Game Hall of Famer, Rivals 5-star recruit, #1 running back coming out of 2002. I mean, so you just add more to the. They already can't deal with you, C4. C4, you win it, it's probably gonna be a nail biter. Whoever y'all playing, you win it. Are they gonna be able to deal with you? Is your wife gonna be able to deal with you when you like, hey, I got that ring?
No, because then I'm going for the National High School Championship. Me, I always keep it. I challenge myself. So, when I win state, I'm going for the National High School Championship. So, then them my goals.
C4, man, I really, really appreciate you taking the time. I saw when you first got the head coaching job at Fletcher, and I said, that's crazy. But that boy's Fletcher's own. He's what Fletcher talk about every day, and now he get to be the one doing it. I don't know if they got the statue out front yet. I don't know. But Fletcher, stop playing. Stop playing to get him. He got to listen, he got a bus, Florida, Georgia, Hall of Game. Put that statue out front. I will be there for the unveiling of the statue when they give you one at Fletcher. I appreciate you taking the time, C4, man. Listen, keep doing what you're doing. And listen, when you win the state championship, man, we're gonna have to come up with some type of little, because I want to see it happen. Because Cornelius Ingram, hey man, he got his son, he got his daddy. I mean, he got his state championship. So you go state championship, national championship, then who knows, man. So y'all Florida schools that's in your district. I know Quezzy, I know he coaching. I don't know if y'all in the same district. I'm gonna let him know you told me to tell him you coming for him.
I appreciate it, Drew.
Appreciate it, boy. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right.